Good morning, friends. Happy Monday, June 19th. Crystal here from Find Your Road Home with today's 3-card reading. Please remember, the first card is always for you. The second card is always for someone else. That someone else might be a stranger, a friend, or a loved one. And the third card is something to remember or watch for. It is often an opportunity. All right, so I'm going to apologize in advance in case any of you hear a little bit of a ruckus. My 2 darling kittens have decided that they are going to be in my paintings and make a bunch of noise. And so while I have tried to get them to stop, and I've reshot now 3 times, they aren't going to move. So we're just going to deal with it, okay? Okay. All right, so let's get to today's cards because today's cards are very interesting. All right, so the first card, remember the first card is always for you. And today that card is, excuse me, Very. Very is that reminder from God Universe that we impact situations. Yes, we like to think that we just go along and passively things happen to us and it's never our fault. We didn't cause it. We weren't there. Like we were just there passively. Things were just happening to us. We were just allowing. No, that's not usually what's happening. Usually we have an impact and we are doing. We're not allowing. We're doing, and we're the bull in the china shop, and we're trying to get to our agenda and make things happen. Because you know what? I know what I want, and this is what I want, and I need it to happen like now. So Very is all about we impact situations. It is a yellow yield. So we've got to slow down and think about how are we impacting this situation? It can be good or bad. Like it doesn't have to just be bad. When we think, oh, you impacted it, we think of it as a negative, but it can also be a good thing, okay? And it can also be somewhere in the middle. Oh, I just knocked all my rocks off of the table. All right, kitties. Some juju's going to come get you, and I hope none of those rocks broke. All right. So, Very, how do we impact the situation today? And it is a yellow freeway. So as soon as we recognize that we have an impact, it was my fault. I shouldn't have put those rocks there. Actually, I've been waiting for them to knock them off for about a week. So I'm kind of surprised it took this long. See? It is a past or a future, and it is a fire. The reason we impact situations is because we're passionate about things, right? So we have to keep our passion in check today. We are not the only one who has passion. Everyone has it. Everyone is driving and striving to get their thing. Make sense? So somewhere along the way, we each have to figure out, wow, how could we get together? And how can we put our little fires together and have a bigger fire? So how do we impact this situation? Be careful. Don't get too big of a fire. Maybe you should combine with an air, okay? Because then it'll feed the fire, but it won't get too giant and it won't burn out. All right, are you ready? And if you're an earth or a water person, then you need another earth or water person, okay? All right. The message for someone else today. Please remember, someone else might be a stranger, a friend, a loved one, or you. All right, so I love it when this card comes up because this is the reminder that I make mistakes. So today's card is Keep. Keep is a message from God Universe. It's also look. So it's all about keeping your eyes on the road, keeping your eyes on the prize, looking where? In our heart, because that's always what tells us what our ultimate prize is. Our mind might be trying to tell us what the prize is, but remember, our mind is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the trickster. So we have to listen to our heart. So today we have to, our friends and ourselves, we all have to keep our eyes on the road. We impact things, and we have to keep our eyes on the road. This is another yellow yield, but it's a dirt road. So life is the journey. Okay. It is a past and a future. And this one is Earth. So if you haven't made that plan already, like when you're keeping your eyes on the road, when you looked in your heart, did you journal and did you write down the things that you learned? Are you using that to help formulate your plan? Are you keeping track of these things? Like, I feel like that's what Earth is telling us today, that we need to be keeping track of these. We need to keep track of what we're learning so that we can use it to help create our plan, or, you know me, make our map of where we're trying to get to. Okay, so we're going to look in our heart and then we're going to write it down so that we can keep that plan and get it organized. All right, are you ready? This is the card I've been like so excited to tell you the whole time. So the remember or watch for card today. Like, it's really beautiful that you have these two cards leading up to this remember, watch for. So the remember, watch for today is open. And open says that there is a new opportunity at your doorstep. Like, you've been working hard, you've been doing the things you're supposed to do, you've been clearing, because we had to clear in order to be able to open, right? So you've been taking care of your business. And now the universe goes, here you go. I need you to be open and welcome new opportunities, new people, new things, because they're going to bring you the gifts that you've been looking for. Okay? This one is a green go, and it is a yellow freeway. So as soon as we open our hands and our hearts to whatever these free gifts are, and they might not be free, but whatever these gifts are, then it's going to be smooth sailing for a little bit. Okay? It is, because remember, we're always on a dirt road. Life is always a journey. It's just sometimes there might be hurdles and sometimes there might not be. It is all about future. And this one, my friend, is all about air. So that means learning something new. That means a new relationship or a friendship. It might also mean, I feel like maybe a new process for how you learn, like a new way to do it, or maybe even a new way to communicate since it's air. Ooh, that could be. Knowing where Mercury is right now. Yeah, totally could be. And it might be that we need a new way to communicate, that we need to try something new. Okay, so let's look at all three of these together, because I really think they tell a pretty nice little story for the day. So we're going to remember that we impact things. And when we remember that little hurdle is going to go away. Okay. So when we remember that we're impacting this situation and we figure out what we're doing that's impacting it, whatever hurdles in our way is going to go away. We're going to keep track of what our heart is telling us that we're supposed to be doing. We might journal, because the truth is that's going to lead us to this new thing that we're supposed to be open for. Okay? All right. Here's the thing, friends. We all journal, right? Well, maybe we don't all journal, because some of us it's more uncomfortable than others. But how often do you go back and read your journal? How often do you go back and read your journal? Today, that's my challenge for you, friend. For over the next week, I want you to dig out some of your journals, ones from time periods that you know were particularly heavy with lessons, okay? Time periods that were heavy with lessons. Pull that journal out today and read through it. There are gems in your journals that you've forgotten because you lived it and then you moved on. But you were smart enough to keep track of it somewhere. So what I want you to do is spend a little bit of time over the next week going back and looking through those journals. Now, I want you to re-journal in your new journal about what you found, obviously, to help you process. But it is all about remembering what you've always known. Going into your heart, you've been pouring your heart onto journal pages for years now. Go look at them. There's answers in there. I promise you, answers that you may have forgotten that you truly believed in at one point, and then you got busy. It might also show you some synchronicities, some things that have recently been popping up in your life that you're like, oh, this is lovely. And then you go read your journal and you're like, oh, I had that lovely before. What happened? Because you also want to learn, how did I make whatever was lovely? What made it disappear? What made me forget? So that I maybe don't forget next time. Because I really like this and I want to remember it. Okay, so, all right. So that's it for Monday. You might notice I'm not all done up. I am taking a mental health day. Whoop, whoop. The kids were like, Amelia was like, are you off tomorrow? And I'm like, no. And she's like, oh. And I was like, I'm not adverse to being off. What's up? And so she just had the day off and wanted someone to hang out with. So we're hanging out and we're going to the pool and we're going to a movie and we're just having a nice day. What kind of things can you do today for you? So while you're reading through those journals, remember those things that you enjoy doing and maybe go and do some of them. All right. So love you, friends. Remember to go out there with kindness. We don't know what others are going through. We're going to remember everyone's mental health, and we're going to consider all of our friends during Pride Month. And there's just so many things to keep on our mind. Okay, so the easiest way to handle that is just go out and be a good human, and then you don't have to worry about it because then you've covered all your bases if you're just always a good human. All right, have a fabulous day and love you all. See you tomorrow.